Harley Davidson is using that as an excuse, and I don't like that. And I think the people that ride Harleys are not happy with Harley Davidson, and I wouldn't be either.
Harley Davidson, the legendary American motorcycle company, and Donald Trump, the newly elected U.S. president. What do these two have in common? A long and heated trade battle that's been years in the making. But why does Trump keep bringing up Harley Davidson in his speeches? And how does it impact the company in its future? Let's break it all down.
Donald Trump is talking about Harley Davidsons again. You know, the American bikes? India taxes them. And it's been one of the pet peeves of Donald Trump. So as he hits the campaign trail, he's making fresh threats. Trump says he wants retribution. If they are charging us, we will charge them. Those are his words.
Trump took direct aim at India's tariffs on American motorcycles, specifically Harley Davidson. At the time, India was charging 100% or more on imported high-end bikes, making them ridiculously expensive for Indian buyers. Trump saw this as an unfair trade barrier and made it a personal mission to lower these tariffs.
They have to pay 100% tax, 100%. Now, the Prime Minister, who I think is a fantastic man, called me the other day. He said, we are lowering it to 50%. I said, okay, but so far we're getting nothing. So we get nothing, he gets 50, and they think we're doing like they're doing us a favor. That's not a favor.
He publicly criticized India's policies, calling them unfair and ridiculous, in multiple speeches. Under pressure, India eventually cut the tariff from 100% to 50%. But Trump wasn't satisfied. He wanted it gone completely, arguing that the US wasn't charging India at similar rates. Sounds strange, right?
American bike maker Harley Davidson has decided to shut down operations, close its manufacturing facility in Bawal in Haryana. The company also announced it will significantly also reduce the size of its sales office in Gurgaon, and these plans are to continue through the end of 2020.
Speaking to reporters at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Donald Trump threatened to impose as much as a 100% tariff on goods from New Delhi.
Fast forward to 2024, and Trump was once again on the campaign trail. And guess what? He was still talking about Harley Davidson. In a speech, Trump made fresh threats of retaliatory tariffs against India, saying he won the presidency again. The US will start charging matching tariffs on Indian products.
But the word reciprocal is important, because if somebody charges us, India, we don't have to talk about own. If India charges us 100% and we charge them nothing for the same, they send in a bicycle and we send them a bicycle, they charge us 100 and 200. India charges a lot. Brazil charges a lot. If they want to charge us, that's fine, but we're going to charge them the same thing.
This time, Trump's fight isn't just about motorcycles. It's part of a larger campaign strategy focused on bringing manufacturing jobs back to America by imposing higher taxes on foreign imports. His America First policies are back in full force.
In other news, India's budget has introduced significant reduction in import duties on high-capacity motorcycles and luxury cars. A move that experts say could ease long-standing trade tensions with the US. But the story is significant as Canada, Mexico, and China hit the US with retaliatory tariffs and warned Trump of real consequences for his proposed policies.
Meanwhile, India's just announced a new reduction in import duties on luxury cars and high-end motorcycles, making Harley Davidsons cheaper for Indian buyers. But will it make a difference? Not really. Harley has already left the Indian market, and while its bikes will still be available through a licensing deal with Hero Motocorp, the company isn't expected to make a major comeback.
It's looking pretty rough for Harley Davidson. We got their fourth quarter sales, their revenue. We also have their for full 2024 financial results, sales numbers, and we have an outlook for 2025. Is Harley Davidson in trouble?
Let's be real. Harley Davidson has bigger problems than just Trump's trade war. The company's sales have been declining for years, not just in India, but even in its home market, the United States. One major issue? Pricing. Harley Davidsons have always been premium motorcycles, but now they've priced themselves out of reach for many potential buyers. Their entry-level models used to cost under $10,000, but today, even their most affordable bikes start at $12,000 to $17,000, and that's before taxes and fees. It's kind of twisted, right?
Harley Davidson just announced it is moving some of its production out of the United States in response to retaliatory EU tariffs. Joining us now with more is Chris Ryder of Bloomberg News reporting from Berlin. So Chris, what is going on? Is this really because of the tariffs that are being imposed by EU?
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, the tariffs for Harley Davidson go up from 6% to 31%.
On one hand, his push for lower tariffs in India didn't really matter in the long run, because Harley was already struggling in that market. On the other hand, his trade war with Europe actually hurt Harley Davidson.
President Donald Trump says he will be making that official announcement later today, imposing another round of tariffs, this time on steel and aluminum imports, and he says more on the way.
President Donald Trump now just hours away from announcing blanket 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports.
Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum too.
Here's why. When Trump slapped tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, the European Union retaliated by imposing heavy tariffs on American motorcycles. This made Harley's bikes more expensive in Europe, its second biggest market after the US.
And I think the people that ride Harleys are not happy with Harley Davidson, and I wouldn't be either.
To work around these tariffs, Harley Davidson moved part of its production to Thailand, allowing it to avoid the extra taxes in Europe.
I want trade deals for our country that create more jobs and higher wages for American workers.
But that decision backfired in the US, where Trump supporters saw it as outsourcing American jobs. Trump himself even criticized Harley Davidson for shifting production overseas. So ironically, Trump's America First policies ended up pushing Harley Davidson to move some of its manufacturing out of the US, a move that didn't sit well with his core supporters.
And I don't actually have a problem with him wanting a company to keep business in the United States. The problem for Harley Davidson is most of their business now is overseas. They're losing business here and they're gaining business in Europe.
Now, what does the future look like for Harley Davidson? The company is trying to reinvent itself with new models, including electric motorcycles like the Livewire. But so far, adoption has been slow. Many Harley loyalists aren't interested in electric bikes, and younger riders have plenty of other options from competitors. What do you think of all this?
They're 100%. These people are the sharpest people. They're not a little bit backward. They are at the top. You know the expression, they're at the top of their game, and they use it against us.
The bigger question is whether Harley Davidson can survive this period of decline. To stay relevant, they need to win over younger buyers, offer more affordable models, and focus on innovation. But for now, sales are still falling, and the brand's future remains uncertain. At the end of the day, Trump's fight with India over Harley Davidson is more about politics than business. The company's struggles aren't just about tariffs. They're about changing consumer preferences, corporate decisions, and global market shifts. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know down in the comments section below.